For literally thousands of years, we've had these incredible crafts. Think about fermentation, making things like beer, bread, cheese. It's always been this mix of part magic and part science, right? It's something passed down from one generation to the next. But what happens when that ancient art smashes into modern data? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into. So on one side, you've got this beautiful, deep well of knowledge built up over generations of just intuition and feeling it out. But then for anyone new trying to get into it, it can be so frustrating. It's just this endless cycle of trial and error, You're trying to make a masterpiece, but you don't have the master senses. And the stakes here they're just incredibly high. We're talking about a process that is so delicate. The difference between a masterpiece and a total failure can come down to a single degree of temperature. A tiny shift that we can't even see can be the one thing that separates a perfect batch from, a complete disaster. Right now, there's this huge resurgence. A whole new generation is totally falling in love with these crafts. People are passionate about making their own sourdough, their own kombucha, their own beer. But here's the catch. Without that deep generational knowledge, getting those consistent, amazing results, it feels next to impossible. So, that all leads to this really fascinating question, doesn't it? What if we could use technology to bridge that gap? What if we could actually translate a master craftsperson's intuition into something that everyone could use? And the answer, really, is all about making the invisible visible. It's about taking all those complex, hidden biological things happening inside a fermentation tank and turning them into data. Data we can actually understand and, this is the key part, control. Okay, so here's how it actually works. It's pretty straightforward. Just 3 simple steps. First, you monitor what's going on. Second, an AI analyzes all that information. And third, you get advice, clear instructions on what to do next, right on an app. All right, so step 1, monitoring. This is all about gathering the right data. There's this multi-sensor probe that goes right inside your brew, and it's constantly tracking the super important stuff: temperature, pH, pressure, even specific gravity. That last one basically tells you how much sugar is turning into alcohol. You can think of these as the vital signs of your creation. Okay, so you have all this data. How does the AI make sense of it? Well, it compares your batch in real time to something called a fermentation curve. And what is that? It's basically the perfect data fingerprint. It's like a golden standard roadmap that's been compiled from thousands of absolutely ideal batches. It shows exactly how things should be progressing over time for a perfect result. And the cool part is, it doesn't just throw a bunch of complicated charts at you. The AI translates all this complex data into super simple, precise instructions. Stuff like, hey, drop the temperature by 1 degree right now to avoid weird flavors. It's literally like having a master brewer looking over your shoulder 24/7. A digital mentor, guiding you every step of the way. So, okay, that's the theory. That's how it's supposed to work. But what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's talk about how this is actually transforming the craft for real people, turning hobbyists into artisans. Let's take James, for example. He's a home brewer. He had all the passion, he read all the books, but his biggest hurdle was consistency. Some batches were good, some not so much. But after using this tech, he said it was like a light bulb went on. He finally got the feedback he needed to really understand the process and, more importantly, to replicate his successes over and over again. And you can see the difference right here. Before, his success was totally hit or miss. Now, with that data-driven guidance, his success rate has just skyrocketed. It's not about getting lucky anymore. He's actually in control of the outcome. Or how about Sophia? She was making kombucha at home. She used the tech to nail her carbonation and flavor every single time. And she got so good, so consistent, that her hobby actually turned into a small business. She's selling to local cafes now. Talk about empowering creation. This is a whole new level. And look, it's really important to get this right. This technology isn't about replacing tradition or letting a robot take over. It's actually the complete opposite. It's about using technology as a tool to preserve these traditions, to decode their secrets, and make that cultural heritage accessible to anyone who has the passion to learn. And the impact here goes way beyond just helping one person make better beer or bread. It's actually creating a whole new creative community, a new paradigm for how people learn and create together. Because this isn't just for beer anymore, not by a long shot. We're talking about a whole fermentation universe. The same principles, the same AI models and expert guidance are now supporting everything from sourdough and kimchi to yogurt and mead. and dozens more.
So when you start using this kind of tech, you're not just getting a cool gadget, you're plugging into a global community. People are sharing their recipes, their data, their success stories. They're building this massive collective intelligence that helps everybody in the network get better way faster.
You know, for centuries, fermentation has felt like magic, something you could taste but never really see. Now, for the first time, the uncertain is becoming certain. And that makes me wonder. If this kind of technology can basically give us the wisdom of generations in an instant, what tradition would you want to revive? What ancient art or family recipe would you bring back